Hey guys, so this video is just going through the homework that you had, the revision work on linear patterns. So the very first question here asked for you to draw a table. So to show how much the tank leaks over a period of 8 hours. So we're going to put, and you can draw this. So I've been drawing a lot of them kind of vertical, but I'm going to draw this one horizontal so you can see. But it doesn't matter, you can do vertical, that's fine. So I'm just going to draw a vertical table, so time, and I'm going to draw it good and big just because I need to give myself a little bit of space. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have, first of all, information says a water storage tank full to capacity of 50 litres starts to leak at a rate of 2.5 litres per hour. So we know at the very beginning, so we'll call the total amount of water, we'll call that W. Okay, so at 0 hours we know there's 50 litres, and then we have every hour it decreases by 2.5. So 50 minus 2 will give me 48, 47.5. And I'm just going to keep decreasing, and then I'll come back and you can pause the video if you want to write out the table. Now, so I've just written out that table, and I've just decreased by 2.5 litres per hour, and I'm going to draw a graph to illustrate this information. So again, I'm just going to take out my ruler. I know that, so looking at this information here, I know that on my x-axis I'm going to have 0 up until 8, and on my y-axis I'm going to start at, I can start about 30, and I'm going to show you what you can do so that you don't have to put in all the numbers. So I'm going to start at 30 and work my way up to 50. So this is one thing you can do in order not to have to put in all the numbers. So first of all, just going to go from over here, a little mistake there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. I'm actually going to go a little bit bigger, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We might as well make a good big graph. Okay, and then on my x-axis, so I'm just going to bring this line down a little bit, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to have 8, well I'm going to actually use 1 as each one, okay, on my ruler. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm actually going to count 9 here, and I'll show you why. So all the way up, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and I'm going to leave it there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just mark off as well. So I'm just going to move my ruler out here, mark off each of my points. Okay, and similarly I should have done that down here. So every 2 is 1 on this one. So I'm just going to bring my ruler across. You can do this with your ruler. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll just say that end one there is 8. Okay, so and we know that as well. Just before I just take that off, I'm going to put down that this is continuous and this is continuous. So I know that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just so you know, I've put up a PDF of the answers as well. So if you're happy with this, you don't have to follow along with this video. It's just for people who are not really sure. Okay, so then just on that axis, I need to put a label, and that's my time, and it's in hours. HRS for hours. Okay, and then up the other ends. So I can start at 30, and what I can do is I can do this, and that tells the person who's reading the graph that you know that there's loads of other values before 30 and that you're skipping those values. Okay, so then we have 30, we have 32.5. So actually I'm just going to go up in fives here, because we know that the middle one is 35, 40, 45, and there's our 50. Okay, and probably best practice as well just to go a little bit higher than that with my line, just so it makes it a little bit tidier. And we know that this is and we can write this alongside it, litres in tank. I know I'm going over the question there a little bit. That's the litres in the tank. Okay, so we're going to plot our points then. We have starts at 50 at 0 hours. Then we have 1 is 47.5, so that's going to be here. Then at 2 we have 45. At 3 we have 42.5. At 4, 40. At 5 we have 37.5. This is there. At 6, 35. And at 7 we have 30. Okay, so I might be a little bit off there, but that's okay. Obviously you'd use a ruler. I'm just going to quickly draw it. Okay, and I'm going to put that as W. That's my graph there. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller so I can finish off the rest of the question. So that's my graph. So part 3 then says write a formula that for the volume of water left in the tank V after T hours. Okay, so we know then we can write this as V equals our starting point where 0 is 50. Okay, plus, sorry, not plus. We know that each time, so if we look here, each time it's decreasing by 2.5 litres. Okay, so we're going to pop into our formula minus, let's see if we use one plus, minus 2.5, and we're going to use T for hours. So that is our formula. And then explain in your own words the formula you have written. So you can say that the volume of water left in the tank is equal to 50 litres, which is what it is when there are 0 hours. And every time it's decreasing, every hour it decreases by 2.5. And then it says use your formula to find the volume of water left in the tank after 6 hours. So even though we can find it on this, they want us to use the formula. So I'm going to put in V equals 50 minus 2.5, and instead of T I'm going to put 6, and what I get is 2.5 by 6 will give me 2.5 by 6, 15. So I get 50 minus 15, which gives me 35. And it says the time taken for the tank to completely empty. Okay, so this one was probably something that you kind of struggled with. I'm going to actually do this one down here. So if the tank is going to be completely empty, what that tells me then is that 50 minus 2.5t will be equal to 0. Okay, and then what I need to do there is I need to solve for t. So what I get then, so remember what I can do just to quicken this, I can bring that 50 over the far side, because remember letters to the left, numbers to the right. And what I'll get, so you can use the balancing method for this. I know some of you don't really like the balancing method, and also for longer equations it can be a little bit time consuming, but you can use the balancing method. If I'm using the balancing method here, I subtract 50 from this side. If I do it to one side, I must do it to the other, so I subtract it from the other. Okay, the method that I'm doing right now is just really a skipping a line, really. And then if I want t by itself, I divide both sides by minus 2.5, because if I do it to one side, I must do it to the other. And what I get is that t is equal to, because 2.5 over 2.5, they cancel. Okay, and then what I get is minus 50. So 50 divided by minus 2.5. And what I get is T is equal to 20. And that is when the tank will be completely empty. Okay, for the next question, what I'm going to do here is I'm just looking here at 7th pattern. And I don't really want to go and have to do up to 7 patterns. So I'm actually just going to figure out part 2 first, the nth pattern. So this is using your TN formula. First of all, before I start, I'm going to write out my pattern here. So I can see that there's 4 in the first one. The second one has 4, 7. Then I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can see now it's going up in 3s. So then I can write my pattern 13, 16, 19. This going up in 3s, yeah. And then add 3 to that, I get 22. So 22 would be my 7th pattern, okay? Sorry. And then how many coins will the nth pattern need? So we're going to use our Tn formula. Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1 multiplied by d. And what I know here is that my A is my first term, which is 4, and my d, which is the difference, is plus 3 every time. Okay, so I'm going to substitute into my formula. Tn equals 4 plus n minus 1, and d is 3. Now we know that, you remember this from earlier in the week, 3 by n and then 3 by minus 1, so we have to multiply them. So I get Tn is equal to 4 plus 3 by n gives me 3n, 3 by minus 1 gives me minus 3. So again, I can add these two together, or subtract them in this case. 4 minus 3 gives me 1 plus 3n, and that's the same as Tn equals to 3n plus 1. So either one of those answers will be perfect here. Okay. And our 7th term, I'll 7th, put that in there as well. Okay. The student will stop once the pattern requires more than 50 coins. How many patterns will she have made by then? So this is once the pattern requires more than 50 coins. This is a sum of series question, and we haven't done sum of series, and I don't think you need sum of series because it's not on the new junior cycle. So what I will say to you is, with this one, what you can do here is you can just add up all the coins. So you can see that we already have 4 plus 7 plus 10 plus 13 plus 16 plus 19. So we can see that if we add, so we 4, so 4 plus 7 plus 10. So if we just check those in our calculator, 4 plus 7 plus 10, that's 21, plus 13 will give me 34, plus 16. We're just at 50. Okay, so the answer there will give me 50. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patterns is the last answer. And the final question here, this is actually an exam question. The table below shows the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Find an expression for Tn, the nth term of the sequence. Hence or otherwise, find the value of T30, the 30th term. So first of all, I would see here, well, they've already told me it's an arithmetic sequence, but I can also see here that it goes up in 2s. Okay, so what I can do then is that I can so I can write out my formula first of all, and I get that in my log tables. Tn equals to A plus n minus 1 d. And it's just really important as well just to say to you, I can't do it now because I'm writing with my finger, but just when we're doing an exam, we try and stay in these boxes here. Okay, it will be a little bit difficult for me now because I'm writing with my finger because my pen is broke, but you need to try and stay in those boxes. Okay, now what we know then is that A is our first term, and in this case that's 12. And then we get the difference is equal to 2. Okay, so we get Tn equals to 12 plus n minus 1 multiplied by 2. Then I get Tn equals to 12. 2 by n is plus 2n, so you can do the loops if you want, minus 2, and then I get Tn equals to, so I have these two like terms, which give me 10 plus 2n. And now we can use that Tn is equal to 10 plus 2n, and I'm going to use that to find T30. So I get T30 equals to, just put a box around that. So I have 10 plus 2 by 30, which gives me T30 equals to 10 plus 60, which gives me 70 in total.